almost completely submerged in a reservoir in the Czech Republic, is one of the most advanced bridge designs of the period. This is Borovsko Bridge, or to local people, Hitler's Bridge.
The bridge, of course, was known as Hitler's Bridge. It was to form a vital part of what was going to be the Central European Highway. And this is really his vision, not just of melding together the disparate parts of the empire he's creating, but also its military use and the speed with which troops can actually move down this road to whichever part of the Reich is threatened.
If you could take away the millions of gallons of water beneath it, the whole structure becomes clear. But as it is now, you can't see any of that. It's a hidden gem.
Civic engineer Petr Billy has dedicated himself to uncovering its story.
In the time when it was built, Czechoslovakia was one of very few countries in the world that planned to build highways that wide. The width of the bridge is 22 meters. It's divided in two bridges. On each bridge, there should be 2 lanes for the traffic.
Czechoslovakia's advanced highway construction program came to a sudden halt in 1938. In that year, Adolf Hitler took advantage of the weakness of Britain and France and sent his troops to occupy the country.
Hitler's targeting of Czechoslovakia is to do with its very large proportion of ethnic Germans. This was all part of his attempt to reclaim Germans into a greater Reich. But there were other factors, of course, because it just so happens a lot of Czech industry, and in particular, its very effective arms industry. And Hitler knew perfectly well that to get his hands on that sort of equipment was going to make a big difference to the war effort that he felt was coming.
Hitler's engineers had already started work on a vast new road system to unite every corner of the Reich, the Autobahns.
The highways are so arranged that they are devoid of crossroads or other traffic obstruction, and foreign experts term them the safest roads in the world. Bridges and trestles span rivers, gorges, and valleys, and the new national highway net connects all the points in Germany.
Just 7 months after the seizure of Czechoslovakia, work began on a huge bridge to carry this highway from the center of the country to Prague and on to Berlin. Czech engineers were forced to put their expertise at the disposal of their new German masters.
They started the construction of the bridge in 1939. They built most of the load-bearing structure by 1942. The original project counted on 800 workers to be here on the construction site, but in reality they got just 150 men. There were some delays in the construction, but still they managed to complete the whole load-bearing structure in 2 years.
The bridge over the Svihov Valley, near the village of Borovsko, was 100 meters high, with a single arch spanning the stream below. It was designed to carry a flood of traffic towards the heart of Germany.
It was a straight bridge, but at the same time, behind the bridge there should be a curve. So this is why the bridge leans to the right side. The bridge was designed for the speed of the vehicles, like 160 kilometers per hour, to reduce the effects of the forces acting on the cars. You need to design the bridge a little bit skew. It's not a reason of some settlement in the foundation. It is how it should be.
There was undoubtedly more to Hitler's Autobahn than just getting from A to B. It was all about national pride. It was all about, wow, look at this audacious Autobahn that we're gonna take the vehicles that are gonna communicate with the Reich and make us leaders of the entire known world. It was all about dominating. That's what Hitler's Autobahns were.
Germany demanded that the new motorway and its bridges were finished by 1943. Despite shortages of labor, equipment, and even cement, the engineers at Borovsko used the latest techniques for their bridge.
If you do strip away all the surroundings and you can see the structure of the bridge, it's a reinforced concrete arch bridge, which is a very common type of bridge. But yet this was being built in the 1930s. Especially reinforced concrete was not a common used material for that kind of structure at this time. So it just goes to show, again, how forward-thinking and how advanced Czechoslovakia was in their infrastructure technology.
Hitler launched his invasion of the Soviet Union in June 1941, and all public works were cancelled in Czechoslovakia, except for the Borovsko Bridge. The thousands of tons of concrete needed for road and bridge construction were diverted to creating vast defensive systems. Half-starved, forced laborers might be able to build Hitler's bunkers, but it took real engineers to finish Borovsko Bridge, so the work continued.
In that time, they had no computers, so everything what we see was calculated just by using paper and pencil.
Here, we're using a new material in a way that has real structural integrity, in an arch bridge, making intricate shapes, intricate forms. That was groundbreaking. That was pushing technology to the boundaries at the time.
But in May 1942, the hated Nazi overlord of much of occupied Czechoslovakia, Reinhard Heydrich, was assassinated by Czech agents.
The assassination of Reinhard Heydrich, a member of Hitler's inner circle, sent a shockwave into the Reich that they were not invincible. In fact, they were vulnerable.
They think about 1,300 Czechs lost their lives as a direct result of Heydrich's assassination.
Once the war was over, it seemed Czechoslovakia was free at last.
For independent democratic Czechoslovakia in the spring of 1945, the end of the European war meant a return to peace and to the freedom it had not known since 1938.
Sadly, this new freedom didn't last long. A communist government soon took over, and like the rest of Eastern Europe, the country fell under the influence of the Soviet Union. Borovsko Bridge could have been finished at last, but the new regime in Czechoslovakia had no interest in a road system leading west, and once again it was abandoned. Then in the 1960s, the valley below the bridge was flooded to create a new reservoir for the city of Prague. The bridge that could have been the missing link in the chain to bind Czechoslovakia to Hitler's Reich disappeared below the rising water.